What up? What up? Welcome to the Grit and Grind Show. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Tonight's show is always coming to you live on YouTube Live, Instagram Live. Hit us up in the chat, hit us up in the comments. Let us know that you're watching. If you got questions, let us know. But tonight's show is being sponsored by the Mental Game Performance Coaching. Go to tmgperformancecoaching.com. Sign up for a free game planning session and see how our mental performance coaches can help you unlock the best version of yourself that you can be. Jesus One Apparel. I got the swag on. Go to JesusOneApparel.com. Enter IOTB20 for 20% off your total order. Telling you, they got color waves for days. So get your favorite colors, get your favorite scheme, rep Jesus One, and hey, use the promo code while you're at it. Chinook Seeds. College baseball season kicks off. That's crazy. Its first pitch is next weekend. On Friday night, you'll see college baseball in action, and no better way to celebrate that monumental occasion than with Chinook Seeds. 8 flavors, mild to wild. Go to your local gas station, grocery store, convenience store. Pick up the best sunflower seeds in the game. And finally, Old Dominick Distillery. Go to olddominicdistillery.com. Pick up your bourbon, pick up your vodka, pick up your whiskey, your gin, anything that calls your name. I'm telling you, they got the spirit for you. Enjoy it. Go to the website, check them out. Promise you, you won't be disappointed with anything. And speaking of not being disappointed with anything, we've got New York Wolves to talk about. So help me welcome on to the show, Director of Athletics for New York Wolves, Sam Krivit. Sam, what's up, brother?
What's going on, my man? How are you?
I am blessed. Every day put my feet on the ground. I feel blessed. It's one of those things where every day I'm starting to realize how hard it is to wake up and be functioning. And so when we get the chance to do it, especially as I get older, I feel blessed. I'm appreciative of that. So
For sure.
I
I do like a checklist every morning, like, all right, what's gonna hurt today? And let's go.
Yep, and depending on if you have kids or not, that those aches and ailments might be magnified a little bit more. So, but gotta love it, gotta appreciate it, and I'm definitely blessed. For you, man, what have you been up to? I mean,
Oh
it's
man.
been crazy.
Yeah, I mean, listen, life is busy. Obviously, family always first. My kiddos, 12 and 10, they keep me busy running around from sports. I'm basically, an unpaid Uber driver after I get home from my job and balancing everything that's going on. There's so much stuff going on. We're prepping for our next comp in October for Fight for the Fittest. And then a lot of New York Wolves stuff, a lot of grid league stuff, and a lot of exciting stuff. And it's probably was closer to like the fall the last time I was on and last time we spoke. Maybe
Yeah,
maybe from like the end of summer. I'm not even sure, but like a lot of stuff has happened in the league and a lot of stuff has happened in our team. It's just I remember a couple months ago being like, all right, I can't wait for the season to start, and I feel like season's it's close.
yeah. When we talked, you laid out kind of a checklist of I don't know 4 or 5 different things. I know hiring a coach, getting athletes, having a roster, creating a team, a culture, and having kind of this general idea of the direction that you want to go. When you look back on that time to now, like how would you grade yourself or at the organization, A, B, C, D, or F, in terms of where you were to where you are now?
Um, B plus.
B plus. That's respectable. I mean, it's a lot. I
Yeah,
think
I
I think
think.
it's an A plus. I think you guys have done magnificent job of one, filling a roster, getting a great coach, understanding the sport, and getting the team up and running. And the other thing is the whole marketing side. And I do want to get into this. I didn't have like a whole like I didn't prepare to talk about this, but as I was doing research, I just started thinking and comparing what the Wolves are doing from a marketing standpoint to the other teams in the league. And don't get me wrong, other
Yeah.
teams are doing things, but it looks like the Wolves are really like hitting social media, short, form media, lots of content. Is the strategy just to kind of bleed the feed and just fill feeds, so people see and understand the Wolves, or is there a strategy, a big long-term strategy behind what you guys are doing?
Yeah, I mean, listen, to kind of explain why I said B plus. Like, listen, we found our coach. We know who our coach is. Lexi's our coach. She actually wanted to be on tonight, but she's working tonight, and she's got her stuff on her plate. So I took this. That's a home run. That's an
Right.
A plus. I think the athletes that we have are A plus humans. I think probably where the B plus comes in is maybe some things that I would have done differently. Timeline, recruiting, communication, um, with athletes that did and didn't make the team. I
Right.
think I that B plus is that grades on me. Um, when it comes to like our social media and our marketing, our our leadership from Jen, that's an A plus. I mean, that's like the easiest A plus grade you could give.
Yeah.
What she has done with creating a presence immediately is exceptional. And I've had athletes who've come to the team specifically because or were interested in the team because hey, I see what you guys are doing. This looks really legit. And what Jen's experience is, where my experience may be in talent and athletes and knowing community, her experience is, in the business and media. And our parent company, Wolf Back on Track,
Yep.
it's a media company. So there's a lot of other things that she does that provides media services for other competition, other venues, other showcases, and she brings that to the New York Wolves. So we have a very professional ownership, and it's run very professionally where we're able to get real content out for our athletes, and put out real quality content and provide an avenue for these athletes to showcase, and really get on a stage that is growing very quick for a team that hasn't played yet.
And there, despite what people might say, there are a lot of players, there are a lot of coaches, there's a lot of owners that are seeing what you're doing and going, scratching their head, going, how do we do that? And so I think over time, you're kind of paving kind of a blueprint for the way of especially in a marketing sense, especially for new teams, that as the league grows, new teams will need to kind of have some type of model that they can work off of. And so far, to me, it seems like this is working really well. You're giving it a B plus. I think that's a more so like I don't think you have it in you to give yourself a
Uh,
perfect score. And so
I
in
don't. I mean,
having
we had a practice this weekend, and the athletes asked me what I thought of the practice, and I told them it was a B minus, and they were like, "Oh,
they're like, oh,
okay, fine."
I thought
You
we
know, uh,
crushed it.
and the times were good. But it was a B minus. You know, but what we're doing, and what Jen has done is you mentioned the word culture. So
Yeah,
it's creating a winning culture. And a winning culture is more than just what you do on the field. It's how we act, off the field. It's how we act at practice. It's how we present ourselves as professionals. Um, there's a lot more that goes. I was explaining to one of our athletes that there's a lot more that goes into this than just what you do on the grid.
right.
It's equally as important to me as how you act when you're not on the grid. And I think that Jen sets that tone from the top. Lexi sets that tone. She's a winner. She knows how to train like a winner. She knows how to teach winners. And that's what I want. I just don't really see any other way to do this other than have that culture.
Yeah, and I think you've seen it. You've been there. You know what it's like. The culture on that grid matters 100%. You have to put a lot of faith and a lot of trust in the people that are working next to you and behind you, or even substituting in for you, that they got me. And egos have to be set aside. And that's one of the things that all coaches will tell you is the first detriment to any team is having egos that you just can't check. And so I think having that culture, especially early on now, is going to set the tone definitely. You guys have. I'll ask you this: Jordan Bush, Brandon Ferraro, Fritz, Brandon Farrar, Michaela, Sydney, Krista, Daniel. The list goes on. Bailey, Selena, Libby, Kara, Mike, Raymond, and Sigbert. All brand new for the most part. You got a couple people in there that have done grid or have introduced and know a little bit, but for the most part, you're looking at a team that is brand new to this. When you look at them as a whole and you compare practices, is the roster the way it is it set, or is there still things that we're looking to fine tune and players to add?
Yeah, I mean, we're always looking to get better.
Right.
Um, I think in those names that you didn't mention, I think there was Kara. Uh, and I'm not even gonna say last names because I butcher last names. It's horrible. Like even in my regular job, I don't call anyone by the last name. So Kara came on. She's from South Carolina.
Yeah.
Um, she's a force to be reckoned with. Christian Velez, his brother plays for the Lions, so he came on with us. And that's her. And then nobody knows about this, but we just signed another gentleman, Frank. You won't know him. Nobody will know him. They'll know him by the time the year is over. So he's going to be a body weight specialist for us.
Oh
So we
man.
have looked to improve and get better. And this week, I am testing and talking to people from the American Good Trials that the league just ran, and we're looking to add another spot, specifically on the female side. I'm being very, very forthcoming.
Yeah.
Our guys are pretty set. We're pretty solid there. Um, One more female, um, a little bit more juice on that side of the field. That's what we're looking at and testing right now.
Well, if this doesn't make you feel good, I don't know what does. Jen says, we're an amazing team. Sam's an amazing human, proud to walk the path with you. I mean, one of the best humans I've ever met, to be quite
We've
honest.
become very, very good friends. I always refer to her as the boss, but I don't really see her as the boss. I see her as my peer, my colleague, or my partner in this. It's been a good to have someone who can fill in for my weaknesses.
Abs- Absolutely. That's what good leaders do. They fill in their weaknesses with really good talent around them. So
Yeah, I mean, and that's what Lexi does too. Me and Lexi are
h- how is
very
Lexi?
different.
Is she
She's a nut
adapting?
job. She's
Is
a nut,
she
man.
settled in yet? I mean,
You're gonna love this one on the grid. She is gonna be fire, and fiery. Like we we get along, but we don't get along just enough to work really well with each other. Like we have very different views, we have very different opinions, and it's the perfect match because she's not gonna tell me what I want to hear, and I'm not gonna tell her what she wants to hear. We're just gonna say what we think. Um, she's adapting. She's still finding her voice, even though that voice is very loud and that laugh is extremely loud. Um, you know, this is a different situation for her, where she was a athlete before or a role player. Now she's got to become a commanding voice of a lot of big personalities. You talked about ego. There's plenty
yeah.
of personalities and ego on this team. But the one thing is they do all respect her, and they appreciate her and they love what she's dishing out. So I think she's doing very well. I think she will continue to learn like the rest of us as we're all kind of rookies in this 2026 season.
Was there any players, and I wonder this, is there any player that you really went after that you weren't able to get?
Um, yeah, there was one young female that I thought would be outstanding, just an outstanding player, and she decided that she wanted to focus on individual CrossFit competing, and I thought that was completely fair. But she was able to do stuff on the grid that never seen a female do.
Wow.
Um, it was pretty wild to do it all. There were a few elite
Was it a
CrossFit
was it a no or a never from her?
It was a no. It was a we went pretty far. Like the pen was like right there, and then was it? So it wasn't anything other than I need to focus on one thing right now, and I respect that. And I got that answer from originally there were a few elite CrossFitters up here in the Northeast that I spoke to, and the no kind of came from both sides when it was, I am going to be competing as a team, I am going to be doing individual, and it was just it's just too much going on, and as that may work for some people and some teams, from our first year, I needed a full buy-in. I
Right.
needed full commitment. I couldn't give a spot and then not have it work out. And I've seen that happen in other teams. I saw that happen last year where spots were given it and the athlete maybe showed up one or two matches or no matches at all. And I couldn't afford that. Like I felt like I owed too much to the people that were committed.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's hard to get up and preach culture and team when you can be half of the team, if that makes sense. Like you can be there half the time. We need full commitment, especially like you said, this first year is a key year, not from a success standpoint, but from a figuring things out and having a good team and having the blueprint to move forward. Because if you do something like that, then you're like, well, shoot, next year we have to try something different. And really, you don't want to try a whole lot of different things when it comes to building that roster. You want to kind of have something set where you go, all right, this is working. Let's build off of that. But um,
I mean,
is
and
there any?
and to share it, there are athletes from the community, whether it's CrossFit, Olympic weightlifting, that are interested in grid, but some of them, I'm going to be very honest with you, they're looking to get paid. And, we decided as an organization that our first year, we're not doing that because that's taking away from what we can do for our athletes otherwise in regards to covering their expenses. We didn't feel that was fair to do that for one or two people and not the other. And that's just an organizational choice that we made. So we turned some pretty talented people down just to keep that what we felt was what we were comfortable with.
Right. Is there anyone else? Is there anyone you're talking to currently? Or are there players that are kind of like in the queue where you're waiting on them to decide maybe if they're going to resign or if they're coming back? Anybody like that?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm talking to a few young ladies right now to kind of fill that last spot. Um, and I'm not in a hurry right now because
Yeah.
of our roster situation. That time has passed. I mean, the re-signing period ended, and I was sliding away into DMs. And there were many people that did consider leaving their team and didn't ended up not doing it. Um, I'd say no. I think there's no offers on the table right now. Our team is set. Our team is solid. One spot I could add here and there. I mean, listen, we all saw that there's a
There's
new
a
team in the league. I know you're going to get to that, but I'll segue
yeah.
to it. Um, our team is set. I'm not looking to start now, and I'm sure they'll be able to put a good team together in. But I'm glad I got that part done because that part was a lot of work.
Well, and now hopefully you get the commitment, you get the buy-in, you get some success, you have a lot of fun, the culture's there, and you win, and then you go, all right, I want to keep these guys. I want to roll this into the next season because we're able to compete. One of the guys, one of my favorite, Mike Rosa, boss man. I mean, what a good dude. And talk about a guy that can be a leader. May not want to be, but he can be. He's got experience. He's been at high levels on the grid. He knows what it takes. So I'm sure having him being a part of this is key as far as developing the players, especially these rookies.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, we named Mike our captain.
all right.
I'm gonna look to add Mike, another captain or two. I think that's an important position on the team from what I've learned and spoke about. To have someone in that start box that's going to keep people in check. Have someone that's off the grid that can kind of help deal with some of the emotions and the egos because that's a lot of work too sometimes. Um, and we use his gym as our home gym. I thought that was kind of uh, a no-brainer choice that me, Lexi, and Jen were like, yes, yes, yes on. And we just announced that at our last practice last weekend. So he's ready or not, he's excited. He's willing to learn how to be a captain. And he's a good friend, and it's been wonderful working with him.
You know, I don't know the other players like I know Mike, but I think he's a great choice. I think he's a great candidate. I think he'll do an amazing job. He's passionate. He's fiery. He's got a loud voice enough to say the right things the right way, and also push hard when he needs to. And so I think a guy like that's perfect for that position. when you look at captains, you said it was important to you to have captains. Outside of just the on the grid, what else is it that you expect of a captain? Is it, just holding court at practice? Is it outside, in the community? Like, what else? I mean, because it's got to be more than just, rallying the troops in the moment.
Yeah, I mean, a captain doesn't have to be someone who's loud and vocal all the time. Mike checks that box. Um, you know, you also want someone that leads by example,
Right.
right? Shows up on time, gets their testing in on time, does their assignments, is there when you need them to. And my biggest thing is find a way to contribute, you know. Um, we had an athlete this weekend who didn't really have a choice, but gave up, had to lose some of their playing time in the simulation because we wanted to test someone out. And was completely fine with it. Knew it was within the best interest of the team. Knew that come game day she's going to be slanging it, and going hard, and did what was right, and found a way to contribute, which was, making sure that the other teammates, the girls were locked in, making sure that things were running smoothly, kind of guiding people through stuff, being a presence. I think that's important with these individuals, is that they need to have presence, that this is not an individual sport, that we need to all buy in. That's another thing that I keep saying to them: we got to all buy in. um find different ways to contribute, and be, I just want someone who's a good teammate. um
Definitely.
that's kind of what I'm looking for. I would like one of these ladies to step up into that position.
Practices. You guys have had a few practices.
Too.
Two practices. All right. So what does it look like right now? Are we just testing things? Are we going to old match and race formats and running through those? Are we doing a full match setup? Like, what does a practice look like right now for you guys?
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, we've had our first practice was a couple months ago. That was at Black Bear. We had a grid player come down, and help us kind of go through some stuff with our body weight specialist, which was an extremely um, valuable thing for someone to do that from a different team.
Right.
Um, and so that was Chelsea. That was Chelsea Manier came and did that. She lives in Pennsylvania. She volunteered her time and did that with us. Um,
I said this about Jen, one of the best humans on the planet. Chelsea is probably another one of the best humans on the planet.
If you're gonna ask me who my favorite good player is, not on the New York Wolves, it's gonna be her 10 out of 10 times. I mean, to come out from
Yeah.
Pennsylvania, spend time with the athletes, and really valuable time, and just let them see what a professional does and acts, and she's great. So we had that full weekend. We did individual work, we did ringer work, we worked obviously on the things that require a lot of teamwork: the mirrors, the partner forwards, the Jack and Jills, the triads. And then at each practice, so we had a practice then, and then we had a 1 day practice just last weekend at Bailey's gym in Stroud CrossFit. um, and we run a sim for each practice, so we've gone through two of the formats so far.
Nice. Now, is it just based on availability that you're traveling to another gym, or is that strategic to get people out there in the community in a different box looking at what grid is?
Well, I mean, listen, everything I do is strategic. It's actually really too. So it gets us to get around, get into different boxes. It's actually really to make it easier on the athletes. So if we do all of our practices on Long Island, it's really convenient for the five of us that are on Long Island.
Right.
Um, but if we can move one here, we're going to do our next one in New Jersey. Then we'll probably be back on the island. It makes that travel a little bit less for everyone, and we kind of just shift it around the Northeast, and make it a little bit easier and more accessible.
What you've seen so far in the first two practices, has there been these learning curve hiccups and these, like, is it like one of those things where I'll give you a baseball analogy. Like, when I was coaching baseball, especially at the college level, you get guys who come in from high school and you're trying to work with them on mechanical things that are new. And when
Hmm.
you change mechanics of someone that you're changing for a very long time and they're learning something new, there's this a lot of failure that goes until all of a sudden, boom, you start getting it right. You start seeing success. With practice and this being new, is there some failures and you're having to like work with athletes because different from other sports, like these athletes are coming in like the best of what they can do. And so when they get humbled a little bit, it kind of hurts a little bit. So
Right.
how do you juggle all that?
I mean, I guess you've heard this before, but, like, you know the answer to this. These athletes are there for a reason. They're the best at what they do, and they're on the team for specific reasons. And listen, when they go and train with other people for CrossFit or this and that, they show up and they just do what they do, and because they are so good at it, it's kind of effortless. We have one of the smoothest Olympic weightlifters. We have one of the strongest CrossFitters in the Northeast. Um, Gymnasts that can do everything. Awesome, awesome strength, power, and now we're asking them to do something completely different, and work as a team, in where they're used to being amazing as an individual, and they can't just step in and be like, "All right, just tell me what to do and I'll do it." And it is humbling, but what I've seen from it is that they're fired up from it, right? So they fail like this. They go home and they're such perfectionist that I'm getting these messages the next day. Oh, I'm ready to go. I'm testing the next form. What's the next one? They're fired up. And from practice one to practice two, big difference in the approach to practice, in the readiness to practice. And then we had two young ladies that weren't at the last one, and you could see like the difference between them and the people that were there just because of what to expect. This is a
Right.
very different practice. Although some of it was physically demanding, I think a lot of it was mentally demanding just to absorb all this information. So the practices are extremely valuable. Because I mean, honestly, I don't really know how much fitter they're going to get. They're just going to get better at being good players.
Right. I think that's validation that you're getting the right people because you want them to be humbled, but then come back one passionate and hungry to do it right. But also, I'm sure between the failures in practice one, that those athletes went and practiced those things and they were probably considerably better practice two at those same elements just because of them of who they are, and so showing that is huge because every day, I mean, you know how it is when you lift, like let's take snatch for example, you're probably going to fail some. Like it's just how it is. It's a complex movement. It's an Olympic lift and things got to be right, especially the heavier the weight. And these athletes when they get that ego checked and they get humbled, it's all right, well then what? How do you adapt to that? Because I don't, like you said, when they're in a CrossFit box, they're the best of the best. Like they're probably looking at, there's not a workout that you put on the board where they're going to be like, I wish I hadn't showed up today. They're going to be like, oh shit, let's go. This is going to suck, but it's going to suck in such an awesome way. What would you say has been the hardest part of being the director of athletics from day one until now? What's been the hardest part for you?
That's a good question. There's been, I think juggling personalities.
Yeah.
I think I've had to check my ego. I have to do that too. I think what I've learned for myself from practice one, practice two, there's a lot that I could bring to these practices, but at some point I need to step back and let the athletes do their things and let the coach the team. I can help things move logistically. I really work well at that. I keep things organized, but I'm not a coach. I'm not a player. You know, so I'm trying to, but I'm such a control freak that it's hard for me. So I'm learning to do that, and I'll call myself out. I'm calling myself out on that. Um, I think that's the biggest thing for me is just um, you know trusting that I've put people in place, that Jen is there to do what she does, and I'm there to do what she does, and Lexi's there to do what she does, and trusting that process and believing it in these three people and believing in the athletes. That being said, it's been a lot of good stuff. It's been mostly good stuff, which is getting to know all these people, which has been like the most fun of all of it, you know.
You got fans out there. Hard work athletics. Let's go, Sam.
Yeah, so
Let's go.
if you've seen our posts from practice and stuff like that, Hard Work Athletics, they're our apparel sponsor for practice. They fitted all of our athletes with sweatpants, shirts, uh, hoodies, wristbands, and that's like our official practice gear. So we show up to practice and it's awesome. They're all wearing the shirts. It look, you want to talk about looking professional. Like we look so good. Um, and Hard Work Athletics is coming up big in the Northeast. They're going to be a national brand soon. They're just they're kind of like me and Kelly. It's Rich and Jen are the two people that own that company. They have a competition come up in May that they're doing for reps for responders. They're part of our event, so they're great people, and they supported us very early on, so that meant a lot to us.
Nice. Sydney, much love for you, Sam. See, like this culture, man, like you're doing a lot of right things. I mean, athletes love you. They want to be there. Um, Brandon is saying, watch out, Sam's going to be a single day sign.
Which one, Brandon? Oh, yeah.
We
I mean,
talked
listen,
about this. The older you
I
get,
love them.
the harder that stuff is. But
I love
you
these
never know.
guys. I mean, I absolutely love every individual on this team. I really do care about them. But every practice, I gotta remind them that I have some level of fitness and skill. So like, I think this is the first practice we were at. They're messing around with the 10-foot handstand, 10-inch deficit handstand push-up. And they're talking, and I was like, all right, let me get up and do one. And I do one. I was like, oh my God, that hurts so much. But I did it. I didn't show them. And then last one, they're all talking about who can do a strict ring muscle, but that's just one random thing that I can do.
Yeah,
And I just was like, oh yeah, let me do it. And they're like, oh yeah, way to go. And I'm like, oh my God, my shoulder hurts so bad after that.
it's
So I got to remind them
like
every once in a while, like, hey, I'm not just a brain and good looks.
absolutely. I My daughter does gymnastics, and there's they do bar muscle ups and toes to bar and all kinds of stuff like within. And
Easy.
I go out in the garage and knock it out, and she's just like thinks I'm the king, and I'm like, geez, if you think that's good, like you should see other people.
Better think
Um,
it, man.
yeah. I'll be her number one king all as long as I can, man. You got Michaela, love Sam, hard work athletics. Sam and Kelly creating great culture partnership with Jen. The Wolves are going to bring it to the grid league. Man, it's awesome to hear those things. Do those things they got to matter way more than any wins, right? Like what people have to say about you. Does that matter?
I don't care what people have to say about me, but the people that I care about, I do care about what they have to say about me.
Yeah.
Everyone else doesn't mean anything, but that from the people that are close to me, the people that I
Right.
consider my friends, that means something. Um,
Right.
wins are nice too. Wins are nice too.
Oh
I'll
yeah,
take
don't
those. I'll take those. But you know, I, I genuinely care about these people, and I genuinely looking forward to getting to know them a lot more. Um, they're good
you know
people.
it's crazy just reading the comments. It almost seems like y'all have known each other for a really long time. The amount
It's a
of
busy
respect
group
and
chat.
love.
It's a
Yeah.
busy group chat. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. What's been the best part of this experience so far? Or
I
is
think
that
it's been
yet to be determined?
I think it's been rewarding. I know, when Jen and I kind of talked about this in late May and June,
Mhm.
our number one priority was to put a winning culture team together. And I knew that was possible. Our number two priority was to get a match and a grid up in the north. And number two is still a very important thing to us. We want to be playing we want to be playing on the grid in 2026 up in the Northeast. Um, and if I and Jen's been, I mean, she is crushing it on this mission, this priority number two. If we can get that, and I can we can give that gift to our athletes to showcase what we've been doing this year in our home area, in front of their communities and their friends and family. That moment will be what it is. The
Wow.
combination of the putting a team together that loves each other and that wants to win, and doing it on the home turf. I'm good there.
That would be the ultimate win. And but the hard thing about having victories like that is the follow-up. Then what? Then what? What do you do next? And I think you guys, it's clear. You got it going. It's rolling in the right direction. Um
That's up to
looking
them what
at
we do next. We could only get them there.
yep.
Well, once that 3, 2, 1 goes,
Pro-
Jen's job is done.
Provide them the route and they got to get there. I mean, and they'll do it. They'll rise. You got the right people. What's next? Well, between now and match one, what do you got left to do?
Um, so we have March. We're gonna do another day practice in Jersey at Rebuilt Training. April 17th. Sydney, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's April 17th. We are doing, or is it 18th? She'll correct me if I'm wrong. We are doing the pack throwdown. So this is going to be a competition that we're running at Black Bear Athletics on Long Island. Uh, for every team that registers, we're going to donate money to what'd you say?
18th.
18th. Thanks, Rich. All right, so 18th. Um, we're going to donate money to Pause for War. And that's a charitable donation, nonprofit donation that donates money to veterans with PTSD and hooks them up with emotional support animals. And then that money is also going to help support some of our season. And that's just going to be a great community event. So, pairs, co-ed, RX and scaled, workouts out already, registration's open. Hit me up if you want the link. Otherwise, you can find it on the New York Wolves page. And then we're going to have kind of our big camp in May, mid-May, cover all our media stuff, kind of smash our heads into the wall that last weekend, and then we're good to go. I mean, then we'll swing it, and just let the chips fall as they go.
Man, it'll be here before you know. I mean, it's already February and
Can't
it's
wait.
yeah, it's cold here in Florida and I'm so ready for it to be done.
Bro, I do not. I mean, I
I
just
don't
spoke.
I know.
Do
I get it.
not.
I get it.
I
I get
just
it.
spoke to Matt the other day, and Matt's like, he's like, "Yo, man, the Florida winters, they're just so much colder." I'm like, "Stop." It's 0 degrees out. My face hurts from the wind. I have 2 jackets on. One of my sweaters is heated. I got Mike Rosa on his Instagram story, bundled up like he's like an Eskimo. I don't want to hear about your Florida winters. Okay,
You're right.
zip
You're
it.
right. I I will have to redact that. I will have
Come
to
visit
edit that
in
out.
January.
I I mean, hopefully we get a chance to come. Maybe who knows? I might be up there. It'll be fun. It'll be in
Won't
the
be in January
summer.
though.
No, no. I would like to come up and see some type of snow or be there like during
Nah, you're good.
Christmas. I
Don't do that. That's a horrible
no,
idea.
I want to. Like if I'm committing, I'm fully committing, Sam. I'm going all in.
Okay,
Like give
fair
me
enough.
it all.
Okay.
Um last question before we let you get out of here. What if the Wolves win it all or have the opportunity to win it all? What is the number one reason? What would you say?
When the Wolves succeed, and success is measured by a lot of different things.
Yep.
Wins are nice, but that's not the only thing that I measure success by. But I'll keep that to myself. Win, loss, success. We'll get there because they do it together. You know, um, they'll get there because they buy in and they're willing to leave the ego at the door and do what's best for the team as a whole. And it won't be about the individual, it'll be about the team. And I have zero doubt in my mind that that's where this team is going and is already on their way there. They have done a lot of stuff. They've already stayed in houses together. They're picking each other up from airports. They're
Wow.
putting each other up in their families' homes. It's shocking, but the main focus in recruiting was the quality of the human.
Yep.
Um, and there were people that were amazing humans, but didn't make the cut because I just didn't think it was right for the team chemistry. And I've been advised by literally every other owner or coach, like that's the most important thing. And Lexi advised it from day one. And I didn't understand it at first. I really didn't understand it at first until I saw it at our first practice. And the team, because Ray is he's teaching everyone how to line dance. And we're in this Airbnb and they're all lined and they got me to line dance and they got Daniel to line dance. And that's when I said that this team is going to be successful because they're in it
Oh, it's
together.
gonna be
Yeah,
awesome to it's gonna be awesome to see. I'm ready for it to can it just be here already? I mean, are
seriously,
you
let's go.
are you do you wish that it was just here or do you kind of embrace this whole journey of like the hard work and like because I know it's tough, but do you really want it to be over or do you like this grind that it takes to build this thing?
I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. I can't wait to put them on the grid and go sit in the stands. I cannot wait for that and to be a fan and then just get back to work. But I'm okay with it being a little bit away because we got some work to do. Like I said, B minus. So
There you go.
as much time as I can get, we're gonna use, and we're gonna utilize to get better. And we're going to be we will be prepared. There will be no doubt in my mind that Lexi will have us ready to go. We will be ready at that first match, no matter who we are matched up against.
All right. Last couple comments. Wolfpack for life. WWE belt in the back. I tell you what, I will bring that belt if we're headed to the Northeast at some point and I get a chance to be there. I'll bring the belt for the Wolfpack. They can hold on to it for a little bit. And then last but not least, definitely Sydney, best line dancing team in the league. I mean, that's it. Put that on the profile. I don't think anybody can beat you. But Sam, anything you want to plug or promote before you get out of here, man?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Wolf Back on Track, that's our parent company. Wolf Media, if you have an event and you need media production, you need content going out that day, you need coverage that day, you need photo, video, reels. That's a huge thing that's going on. It's spreading big time here in the Northeast. Obviously, I have to plug myself at Fight for the Fittest. Our event's October 17th and 18th back on Long Island. Last year, we had 450 people competing in the weekend. This weekend, we're going towards 600 people. Um, we quickly have become the biggest event in the Northeast. So that registration's open. We have, over almost 100 people signed up already, and it's October we're talking about. So lock that in quick. HWA Hard Work Athletics, our practice apparel sponsor, big supporters of us. We really love working with them. Check out their stuff. King Hickory Furniture. So that's one of our new sponsors. They're from South Carolina, and they hopped on to support us in our season. Um, yeah, I think if I did forget anything out, that's it. But my athletes, man, I unplug them all day long. We get closer to the season. Get you on with them. They got
Yep.
some great personalities. I can't wait for you to get to know them. Amazing humans.
Had a couple. They've all been fantastic. I'm looking forward to having the rest. Obviously that's going to be in the works here soon. But man, Sam, best of luck. If there's anything you need from me, man, reach out, please.
I will.
All right, appreciate it. That is Sam Krivit, Director of Athletics for the New York Wolves. If you like hearing Sam's story or you just like hearing Average Joe's talk X's and O's, please like, share the podcast on Facebook, retweet us on Twitter Head over to YouTube, like, subscribe, notifications. That way you're first to know when new content is dropped. Shout out to everyone in the comments tonight. Appreciate it. Much love for you. And we have episodes coming up, but I got to share some news on a personal front. All right. You may not have seen a whole lot of episodes, obviously, with the In Off the Bench podcast network. We got college baseball, we got college gymnastics shows. And so those things do take time, and am doing those, but Grid is my baby. That's my thing. And I promise you, we're coming with more shows, but I got some personal things going on. So for those of you that don't know, my mom is having a lung transplant. So she's currently on the transplant list. So we've been doing a lot of different testing, a lot of different hospital visits, longer stays than expected, but currently at home, doing okay. But it's a waiting game. So I appreciate those that do know, the love and support, the prayers, the thoughts, the hugs, all of those things. And for those of you that do know, just know we're going to keep grinding. It may not be at the frequency right now that we want it to be, but I'm trying to set up at least one a week moving forward. But if you don't have one in a week, that's kind of what's going on. So just want to be honest, truthful, upfront with you guys. Love everybody out there. Appreciate it. And always remember, strong body, sharp minds, grit and grind all the time. We're out.